Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 31st day of May, 2024. It is Friday of the 8th week of the year, the 8th week in Ordinary Time. But more importantly today, here is our first grade basically lining up to go and do something right now. It is our last Friday of the year here at the Franciscan School. We also celebrate today the great feast of the Visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary to her cousin Elizabeth, again, which happens on this day. And there again is our first grade, just all looking just so adorable. You cannot be any more adorable than our first grade here. So today there are special readings for this great feast day. Again, it's consistent again with the stories within the Gospels of the Annunciation happening in March, and again by this time Mary being able to show, and so she now makes this great trip as the angel Gabriel tells her about her cousin Elizabeth, who advanced in age, is now going to give birth to the one who will be the forerunner, the announcer, the proclaimer of the Messiah when he appears, John the Baptist. And so we have there are two choices for the first reading today. The one is from Isaiah, the other one is from Romans. The one from Isaiah is kind of the better one, about shouting for joy, O daughter Zion, because in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. Again, sort of an allusion to who Mary is in bearing the Messiah, but also again the fact that this Messiah is born into this world, into our midst, into becoming one like us, so that we might all live together as one people. We all live together in union with God and with with one another. And so that choice for the first reading again centers us on this feast. Again, that speaks about God's power and wonder to decide to intervene purposely into human history by again becoming one like us, not in some kind of spiritual form, not in some kind of apparition or some kind of thought or idea, but to become flesh and blood as we are, to be able to experience the truth of what this creation is, and to be able to help this creation recognize the more that it must recognize, so it can achieve what God has created it to achieve. In the Gospel today, we have the account of the visitation of Mary with Elizabeth, and in that account, then Mary offers. There are two parts of it that are important. The first part is what Elizabeth says to Mary, is that she believes that God's promises will be fulfilled, which is a wonderful thing that has to be said about all of us at some point or another, that we have to be able to fulfill each other's promises, or that we have to, well, we do to do that. We have to make sure that God fulfills the promises that God has made to us, and that God will never go back on the promises that God has made to us, that God is not a liar, that God is not somebody who fools with us, who plays games with us, but God is somebody who says, I will do this, and it is done. Mary is the one who believes that, and again, not necessarily the first one who believes that, but Mary is the one who believes that, to basically revive Israel's understanding of what this God is, what this God can do. Again, after so many years or so many centuries, so many millennia of waiting for the Messiah, now this Messiah will become part of our life, and again, that great fulfillment of God's promises to know exactly what it means to be who we are as creations of God. The second part of this, though, then is Mary's great Magnificat, this great celebration, this great praise of God, but a praise of God that contains with it nothing that is innocent, nothing that is gentle, nothing that is meek, as unfortunately Mary is so many times portrayed in art, in literature, in all kinds of media. This is a praise of revolution. This is a praise of rebellion. It is a praise that is turning the world on its head. Again, where she speaks of God casting the mighty from their thrones, raising up the lowly, sending the rich away empty, again, giving the hungry their fill. This is a God who reverses the common understandings of life, and the common understandings of what it means to succeed and to achieve. This is the God that Jesus is, that Mary bears into this world. We forget that a lot because we kind of tend to domesticate Jesus, turn him into some kind of lap cat and lap kitten for people just to pet. That is not, who Jesus is. That is not who God becomes when God becomes one like us. And that is not the reason why God comes into this world, to basically give us, this sameness and status quo, and to sort of reinforce that. This God overturns everything, and Mary's great Magnificat announces that. This is why the Visitation is such a great feast to celebrate, particularly as we come to the end again of May, and the end of in the Northern Hemisphere, at least the end of the springtime as we move into summer, that we might recognize more fully again this God who dwells in our midst, and be able to rejoice that we have a God who dares and wishes to do so. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.